Oh, hello, my loyal fans. Today we're going to be reacting to a professional stand up comic, Miles Miller, the professional stand up comic. And what I'm going to be doing is kind of giving you behind the scenes what goes through the mind of a professional stand up comic. Now, I will say I'm a professional stand up, I'm not a professional reactor. So much so that I made this same exact video, but the audio levels were all wrong. My audio on my stand up was really loud and I was really quiet in the background. So I've recorded the same exact video before, but we're going to be doing it again so you can kind of get some tips and tricks from a, again, professional stand up comic. Let's get started with the walk up. The walk up is one of the most important parts. This is the first time that the people in the audience are seeing you and you're walking up on stage. You need to have a strong walk up. I have, okay, I have a fairly weak walk up here. I kind of just stand in the corner. I'm just smiling. The sound guy, nice guy, but a bit odd. No, he's a good guy. He laughs at all my jokes. He loves me. Um, so I'm just kind of standing there. Again, you want this part to be, this is the most important part. Assert some dominance, show confidence. Don't just stand there.
Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather.
Okay, this one's a classic little bit. You do like a little audio chop at the beginning to just test out the audio levels, and I just like to fuck with the guy because he wants the levels to be right, and I just say random shit, and I so that's kind of a classic bit to do. Someone in the audience talking.
Alright, guys, trying out some new material, so let's see how this goes.
All right, this is an important point. I am trying out new material. New material, okay? So I'm always doing new material. I don't like to reuse a lot of jokes. Sometimes, if I really like a joke, I'll reuse it. I'm going to start going to reusing jokes, the jokes that work, because that's kind of how it works. You kind of want to see what jokes work, and then the jokes that work, you build one good set, one solid set. And that's how most people do it. That's not how I've been doing it because I just like to write new stuff every time. That's why well, okay, so that's why I'm reading off my phone. One of my friends pointed this out that I'm just reading off my phone, which first of all I think is really funny that I'm just on my phone the whole time. But it's because I write these jokes like 3 minutes before I go on stage. I can't memorize them, so you're gonna want to memorize your jokes. That's a good point. Um, where was I? What was I talking about? Oh yeah, new material. This is new material. So bear with me here. It's always new, but this one's particularly new. And I was trying kind of a new style, and that's why I'm doing this react video because I don't think it turned out as good as I wanted, so I might as well get some content out of it by reacting to it. But let's take a look.
I pose a question to you. Is it gay to get turned on by a hot guy with a big dick?
Okay, well, that was a rhetorical question, but people in the audience answered me. First of all, I just like saying big dick. That's like a funny phrase to say. Um, and then I also like the concept of asking if something that's 100% gay is gay because I just think that's kind of funny. But then people in the audience answered, people in the audience like to get involved. I don't do a lot of crowd work. I don't really like going back and forth with the audience because I'm not smart enough. Like, that's why I'm reading off my phone because I need to have this stuff prepared. I'm not quick enough to do crowd work, but sometimes they get involved.
You know, I take solace knowing somewhere out there Bill Maher is smirking after making a joke about this current generation.
Not a lot of people seem to know who Bill Maher is. Again, some of these jokes, I don't know if people just don't get them or they don't think they're funny. Um, but I think that's pretty funny because Bill Maher, he's known for smirking. He smirks a lot and makes, comments about this generation and whatnot, which I think is kind of funny. So I thought that was just a funny comment, really, but no one seemed to think so.
I'm not good with Roman numerals. Like, yeah, I'd like to LX, IX your pussy, but I'm not entirely sure what you want me to do.
Okay, okay, this is okay. Okay, hold on. This is funny because Roman numeral jokes are funny. You don't hear a lot of Roman numeral jokes these days. You heard them back in Roman times, but not as much nowadays. What's funny about this joke is I just like saying the word pussy. It's just a funny word to say. Um, that's the thing about my comedy. It's not so much about the joke, it's about how smart the jokes are and how I have an ear for what sounds funny. And I have a brilliant ear for what sounds funny. And the word pussy sounds funny. I have another joke coming up where I say the word pussy and it's really funny. But hold on, this joke didn't get any laughs. But watch what happens here. No laughs?
LXIX is 69 in Roman numerals.
Laughs. That was classic. It just took a little explaining. I even say
Just took a little explaining.
it just took a little explaining. So what happened was no one knew what the fuck I was talking about. LXIX, pussy. What the hell is he talking about? And then I don't think jokes that require explaining are good jokes, but sometimes when you explain a joke as part of the joke, it can be funny.
Well, fuck me in the face and call me Gerald. Dr. Gerald McFuckface.
You're gonna want to be really vulgar when you're on stage and say as many curse words as possible.
Is my full
Someone really thought the lady in the back was loving me. I really appreciated her laughing, especially at a joke, which I call the Gerald McFuckface joke.
You know, Jesus was born from an immaculate conception. What a coincidence, right? Because I've never even had sex.
Jesus freak in the audience goes, ugh. He didn't like that one. Um, because what's funny about that is because, well, I don't know what's really not funny about that. I'm making fun of myself for never having sex. Um, I'm making, comics love anti religious jokes. And I'm not an anti religious guy, but they love making fun of religion. So I made a little Jesus joke there, but someone didn't like it. And I made eye
This joke
contact
just
with
says
him.
young.
Okay, we're gonna rewind just a little bit. I made eye contact with him. I like being a little bit antagonistic with the audience, and I actually thrive off of people not enjoying my jokes. So that was a good one.
This joke just says young Sheldon.
That's classic. I love jokes that aren't really jokes. Norm Macdonald would refer to this as kind of meta comedy, and he didn't like meta comedy, even though a lot of his jokes were kind of meta. Um, I just like saying, first of all, Young Sheldon. That's a TV show that I don't think anyone's ever actually watched. I have watched it a couple of times in the Psych Ward that was on television, um, which we'll get to later in this set. That's some of my anecdotal comedy. But Young Sheldon's funny. Young Sheldon's a funny thing to say. And the joke is just that I'm saying it. So some of these jokes, you don't need like a huge premise or a lot of context. You can just say a funny word or phrase.
How about this instant death plague everyone's been talking about? I heard about it and I told my wife, hey, you gotta sign up for this thing.
Someone said, no way. Yeah, I went there. All right. I'm an edgy comic and I went there. I made fun of my wife.
You know, Darwin's theory of evolution really crumbles when you learn my wife has the beak of a finch, the feet of a tortoise, and hairy back of a giant ground sloth.
This joke is actually really smart. Fuck, I fucked it up. We're at 225. Okay, I fucked it up. But this joke is actually really smart because I had to do a quick Google search for this joke. This joke has to do with Darwin's theory of evolution and the animals that Darwin studied. And I had to look up which animals he studied and compare them to my wife. So it's a wife joke, which is hilarious because, first of all, okay, I'll be honest, I don't have a wife. But if I did, I think it'd be really funny to make fun of her. Secondly, I had to do like two Google searches to figure out like, oh, Darwin, he studied these animals. What was about these animals? Oh, is Darwin's theory of evolution. So that's a smart joke.
I'm a big fan of
Where were we?
Gerald McFuckface.
Gerald McFuckface. I gotta go to where we were.
Born from an immaculate conception.
Okay, we'll just rewatch these jokes. Sorry. It's very finicky. Again, I don't know why that guy didn't like this joke.
This joke just says young Sheldon.
Classic.
How about this instant death plague everyone's been talking about? I heard about it and I told my wife, hey, you gotta sign up for this thing.
Like making fun of my wife? No way. That's a great reaction.
The theory of evolution really crumbles when you learn my wife has the beak of a finch, the feet of a tortoise, and hairy back of a giant ground sloth.
That's hilarious. No one thought it was.
I'm a big fan of Debussy, famed French pianist Claude Debussy.
I love this joke because, again, I have an ear. I have a certain je ne sais quoi for things that sound funny. And the word pussy sounds really funny. And Claude Debussy, what's his name? Claude Debussy? I can't even say famed French pianist Claude Debussy without saying Claude Debussy. But he was a pianist. He's a pianist, really, if you want to describe him as such. And so I just think that's a funny thing to say. So I just really laid into the word pussy. No one thought it was funny.
All roads lead to Rome, because every road I walk down, I end up fucking some gay guy.
Okay, my mom absolutely hates this joke. And someone in the audience also hated this joke. But I think fucking some gay guy is a really funny phrase. Okay? I don't like edgy comedy, but I think it's a really funny phrase. Also, all roads lead to Rome. That's just a classic phrase. People know that. So what I like to do is I like to take something that people definitely know and then take it in a direction that people definitely didn't expect. With me, they might have expected it because I want to clean up my act, but I'm kind of vulgar. But I just think that was a funny phrase. I fucked it up again. I keep fucking it up.
Fan of the pussy.
Fucking hell. Sorry guys, I'm technically inept.
Because every road I walk down, I end up fucking some gay guy.
We'll watch it again because it's just so good. Isaac thought that was funny. Thank you to Isaac for recording.
What do they call a Philly cheesesteak in Philly?
Getting the audience involved here.
Because I don't give a fucking shit.
Okay, this one's funny because I don't love getting the audience involved, but I got the audience involved by posing a question to them, and then I just shat all over them by saying I don't give a fucking shit. So I thought that was funny.
Okay, this is a reminder, guys. I have to take a break to remind you guys that the Servicing Men podcast is a men's self-help podcast centered around addressing the hardships experienced by men that often go overlooked in today's cultures. It's not about masturbation.
Okay, this is a little bit confusing because the people in the back who were comics were laughing at this joke before I thought it was over. They were technically laughing because they thought I was making a smarter joke than I was making. I was making a joke about masturbation because I think masturbation is funny. They thought I was doing like a mid-set ad read, and they just started laughing and they thought it was absolutely hilarious. And I was like, why are you laughing? The joke's not over yet. But I texted with the guy after, and he was like, no, it's actually a funnier joke if it's just like a ad read in the middle of your set. So that was some good feedback. I'm glad I got a big laugh. I didn't get a laugh at the actual joke I was trying to make, but I got a big laugh and I got some good feedback on that joke. So I'm gonna rehash that. I'm gonna go back to that joke and kind of rework it. Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, one of the oldest professions, we still haven't unionized.
Okay, I think the woman in the back was still laughing at the ad read joke, but first of all, I'm not a prostitute. I don't love the joke. I used to have a lot of jokes about prostitution. I don't think they're funny anymore. What I do think is funny is saying that you should unionize if you're a prostitute, which I think would be a really hilarious concept.
I hate people who bring up unnecessary information to try and argue a point.
This joke's smart.
Thus, anti-semantic.
Play on the phrase anti-Semitic, but anti-semantic. I defined the word semantic and called myself anti-semantic. Very brilliant joke if you really think about it.
I'm a big believer in God. No, I'm sorry, that meant to say Hugh Laurie.
Hugh Laurie joke.
I guess I am a big believer in God.
Love Hugh Laurie.
One of my favorite Harry Potter characters is Neville Longpenis. Speaking of Harry Potter, I took one of the house you're in. I may have taken the wrong quiz because it turns out I'm gay.
Okay, this one's funny. I wrote all the last 3 jokes I just told. I wrote while I was in the psych ward, so that's some context for you. But I think I don't think I've ever taken one of those tests that tells you what house you're in Harry Potter. I don't think a lot of the people in the audience were older, so I don't really know if they knew what I was talking about. But the joke here is that that's like kind of a gay thing to do. I'm me being gay myself, and the joke is just that I say the word gay. I guess that's just the joke.
You know, as a creative person myself, I hate plagiarists.
This joke's smart too.
I wanted to read you guys something I've been working on. It goes a little something like this. We, the people of the United States of America.
Look at the big grin on my face after this joke. Look at the big grin on my face after this joke. It did not deserve this big of a grin, but I really like it because it's a terrible joke. And I love telling terrible jokes that the audience absolutely hates. The joke here is that I'm saying I hate plagiarists and then I plagiarize something. That's the joke. I think someone laughed in the back. No one really, I don't know if they just didn't get it. Again, I don't know if they didn't get it or they didn't think it was funny. So what happened here is I just have this big grin on my face because I love it when I don't get laughs, and that's about it. I fucked it up again. There we go.
A lot of plagiarists in the audience.
Must have been a lot of plagiarists in the audience.
I'm trying to be more lactose tolerant, but boy, do I hate that guy.
Isaac really liked that joke.
All right, here's some serious stuff.
Okay, we're getting serious.
From the psych ward.
See, I told you.
Voluntary psych hold because of suicidal ideation.
This is kind of anecdotal comedy.
Suicide may be one of the easiest murders to commit. Because when you think about it, when you murder someone, you need to know where they're going to be at a specific time.
Joke is kind of long.
Normally, this takes days, even weeks of plotting someone's movement and learning their behaviors. But with suicide, you already know at 3 o'clock every day the guy you're trying to kill buys an entire tray at Cinnabon. I fucked it up at the end.
Okay, so I fucked it up at the end by stumbling over my words. The joke here is that, with suicide, with killing someone, you need to know exactly where they're going to be to kill them. You can't just say, I'm going to kill this guy, and then you have to know where they're going to be to kill them. With suicide, you are that guy. So and then the joke is that I eat a lot of Cinnabon. Cinnabon? Is it Cinnabon or Cinnabon? So that's the joke. So you already know, plotting the location and the behavioral habits of the person you're trying to kill. And that person being yourself, you know that you just go to Cinnabon all the time. But I kind of save it here by I don't like to rely on the explaining the joke because it can get a little hacky sometimes, but I explain the joke here and it kind of saves it.
I ate a lot of Cinnabon is the joke. I tried to kill myself. That's another joke.
Self-deprecation.
Suicide is probably the easiest murder to get away with. Whether they're going to take you to court. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise to the Honorable Judge Langley. Here we have the people of the state of California versus Rotting Corpse. Playing the part of the Rotting Corpse, the guys from Weekend at Bernie's.
People didn't seem to know what Weekend at Bernie's is. That's like a classic movie. The joke here being that I would be dead. Suicide is a crime. So they would want to charge you with a crime. You know, killing anyone is a crime, so killing yourself is a crime too. So the idea being that no one gets charged for it because you can't charge a rotting corpse. So the idea would be that you bring a rotting corpse on stage and kind of work it like a puppet, and that's what the guys at Weekend at Bernie's did. That's like a classic movie where they did that, but no one seemed. Again, I don't know if they just didn't know what Weekend at Bernie's was, or they just didn't think it was funny. Give a little look around after you don't get laughs.
It's fun, man. It's fun when you're trying to kill yourself. They put you in what's like a storage locker. I kept waiting for the guy from Storage Wars to open the door up and auction me off.
Never watched Storage Wars.
You know, I was watching that show the other day, and the guy who served in the Iraq War.
This joke is kind of hacky.
The Afghan War on the Storage Wars.
Not a big fan of that joke.
What you mean
Don't tell Storage Wars jokes.
There was Alfred.
This joke is good.
Alf Head. He couldn't stop sucking people off.
Kind of stumbled over my words.
He was on 24/7 watch because he couldn't stop sucking people off. And of course, there was Camille, who didn't like lunchtime because being forced to eat got in the way of sucking people off.
Okay, again, I have this ear. I have this brilliant ear where I pick up on things that are funny, and the phrase sucking people off is just so funny to me. Just saying sucking people off is funny. First of all, there's the layer of it being funny that no one goes to the psych ward because they can't stop sucking people off. But I just kept saying sucking people off. And these were like, you know, you think, oh, is he going to, like, I have 3 people here. Is he going to switch it up? What's going to happen? Oh, no. And then you kind of realize that I'm just going to say sucking people off at the end of every sentence. So that one's kind of funny. I like that joke. Not a lot of people do.
They kept taking my blood when I was in the psych ward.
This is a classic joke.
It's like, who cares? Yeah, I'd like to kill myself. I'm also slightly worried about my cholesterol.
This isn't my favorite joke, but I'd say it's a solid stand-up joke. The delivery is just classic stand-up.
My court-ordered psychiatrist told me I'm having an existential crisis.
I like this joke.
I'll have an existential crisis, scrambled with toast.
Isaac thought that was funny. My biggest
There's
fan.
nothing like getting off a 72-hour psych hold, and the only message you've received is a reminder for your appointment with the proctologist.
I think no laughs. I don't know if people just don't know what a proctologist is, but I think this one, again, not my favorite joke, but I think it's funny because I did get off a 72-hour psych hold, and I got like no text, like they took your phone, so I didn't have my phone for 3 days, and then when I got my phone back, no one texted me. No one was like, where's mine? And, you know, some people did, but you know, it was just kind of funny.
Final joke.
I say final joke, but this isn't the final joke.
I ran into a glory hole the other day. Well, really, I walked to it.
That's funny. No one laughed.
This is how innocent I used to be.
This is a good
I
joke.
think a glory hole was a bathroom stall.
I stumble over my words.
For guys who like watching other guys take fat shits. Turns out they're holes where guys stick their cocks through, and guys on the other side take a fat shit on them.
I think this joke is hilarious. My mom also hates this joke. Apparently everyone in the audience hates this joke. But the joke being that, first of all, it's just a funny thing to say fat shit. It's another funny thing to say cock. And taking a fat shit on a cock is just a funny, like, picture to paint. Yeah, I guess that's the only reason that's funny.
Thank you, everyone.
I got some applause. Okay, now wait. got some applause. Now, the walk off, maybe the third most important thing. Walk up your set, and then the walk off. These are all very important. And the walk off, I did not have a good walk off. Usually I have a good walk off and I look very confident. This time, I fucked it up. Go back. Okay, we'll watch the walk off.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
See, I'm not confident in myself. I'm like, that was kind of iffy. And that's not what you want to do. That's not what you want to do at all. So there's some tips and tricks for being a professional stand-up comic. Like I said, I am a professional stand-up comic. I've never actually been paid to go on stage. I've been paid to get off of stage. But what I will tell you is that I've done this 3 to 4 times. And if you've done this any less than 3 times, I am much more advanced than you. I am much funnier than you. I am much better than you at stand-up comedy. So with that said, fuck you.